Today we are talking about a few apps that I absolutely love. See what I did there? Most of the apps are such which I have been using for years, and some I have used for a very long time and I don't use anymore, and I'll tell you why when I get to that. So let's start it off with the most popular note-taking app that you will ever find nowadays, at least. It's Notion. So I used to be that person who was taking notes on their phones back in 2011 on this app called Springboard, and it was really like, I really liked the interface. It was really fun and it looked very good on the phones that were available back then. But then I think Evernote bought Springboard, and then I was on Evernote for the longest time. Then I kind of kept shuffling between Evernote and OneNote, and these two things I always had on my phone, and I was regularly taking notes. And I'm the kind of person who, if I read something, if I see something, I have to note it down. I also wrote it down on like paper, but sometimes you're out and about, so that was it for me. And I used to save a lot of like online articles that I read, so Evernote has that web clipper which was really easy to save everything in, so I did that. But Notion is kind of like note-taking on steroids, and if you go online on YouTube, there are entire channels dedicated to how you can use Notion effectively. People have supercharged it into like a productivity tool, but that's not how I use it. And I could take you through my Notion dashboard if you are interested, so let me know in the comments if you would like to see that. But I believe there are many other channels who do like a very pretty organized kind of a Notion dashboard. But what I have is just like a simple, mostly it's my content calendar, which I have organized, and I can see all the videos that I'm planning. I have the scripts for that. I have what stage of production they are in, if I have I'm yet to shoot, if I'm yet to edit it, if I'm just like thinking about the script, if I am shooting b-roll, etc. Like I have the whole list of how that works. And I also, most of the information that I find online, if I'm like planning a trip, then all the info regarding that place is in my Notion page for that particular trip. And like any other interesting thing that I find online, I put it there. I also have my yearly goals tracker, and I purposely kept it in Notion because I kind of maintain something which is called the impossible list, and it was popularized, I think, by Thomas Frank, if I'm not very wrong. And Thomas Frank has this whole thing where once you achieve a goal, you top it. So if you run a mile in a minute, then you try to run 2 miles in a minute. You always try to improve yours. So I have a list like that, and it's mostly related to health and wellness goals, and it's easier to constantly update in a digital format. And in a normal notebook, it would be like crossing out things, which I don't like to make anything messy, so I prefer it like that. So that's where this stays. I also have like a little bit of a weight and measurements kind of a tracker on it. It's not very rigid, but it's just something that I want to just track over time so that I can check my BMI, etc, etc. And also I have a few recipes that I've collected, and just like things basically collected from over the internet. So Notion is one thing that I find super versatile, and now it has Notion for AI, so that also helps in like auto generating titles, etc. So Notion is one app which I think is very, very versatile, and you can if you're working with a team, etc., you can use that as well. So that really helps in terms of collaboration. I haven't used it in like a collaboration. I mostly use it like a project management calendar system kind of way, but that is the one tool that really helps me with my YouTube content planning and creation, and just handling that part of my life. So I really like Notion, and it took me a very long time to figure it out because the options to customize are so much that I got really overwhelmed. And for a whole year I had made my account, and I kind of played around with it, but it wasn't working for me until I looked at enough tutorials, etc., and videos, and then I finally found my style and how it works best when I organize it for myself. And then I kind of migrated everything from my Evernote and OneNote accounts into Notion, and now I use Notion exclusively for all of my online note-taking purposes. Next, we have Audible. Now, Audible, I think, is a real godsend of an app. Like, I really like listening to audiobooks, and it helps you multitask a lot. So if you're cleaning around the house, if you are taking a walk, you're driving, audiobooks are so great that you can listen to it instead of just listening to music all the time. And sometimes the narrations are so interesting that I actually get lost in the world of the book. And I listen to non-fiction books, but the 1 or 2 times that I will listen to a fiction book, it totally transports me into the world of the story and everything. So I love the experience of an audiobook. I love the versatility that it brings with itself, and I also like it when it feels like a conversation almost. Like I love taking walks and listening to audiobooks, and it feels like somebody's teaching me these particular things which are written in the book, and I find it much easier to listen to books than read books. So I try to listen to it whenever I can, and the subscription fee is quite nominal. I think it's $1.99 per month, so that is a fee that I don't mind paying. And also you get 1 credit every month, so you can get 1 book for free. If you want to buy more books to listen, you can purchase them, and always the audiobooks are cheaper obviously than the paperbacks or the hardbound books. If you enjoy listening to books, it will also effectively be less expensive than buying the physical book or the ebook. And I'm not an ebook person, but I really like paperbacks and audiobooks, and lately I have been really enjoying listening to audiobooks. So Audible is my favorite app for that. I have tried a few other smaller, more local apps. By far the experience on Audible has been great. So the next app is called Axio, and it's a money management app, and I think it was called something else before. I will put the name down below if I can find it, but I really like the interface. It reads your SMS information for where you are spending and how much money you are spending. So it also kind of categorizes by itself. So if you are ordering from any of the online apps, they know for what purpose, like if it's groceries or if it is food, takeout, etc. They know what purpose that money is going into. So it's very good for analysis at the end of the month, and they also give you like a consolidated report for the like every month, and also week on week. So every week you can check, and they will tell you that your spends are up by X% or down by Y%. And every time you purchase from that from a same app or the same website, they will tell you it's your X number visit here, which I think is a very interesting data point. I don't know what to do with that, and sometimes it makes me feel bad, like okay, it's my 42nd visit on Zomato. That's sad, but anyway, we will live with it. And I like the fact that they consolidate everything into categories, and you can edit it in case you think that they have done it wrong. They understand when it's a bill payment, so if you pay your credit card bill, it also shows us credit for that particular card, right? But they understand that it's an expense and you have paid a bill, so it records as an expense. So that those things are really useful, and they give a very nice organized like graphical representation of where your spends have been and how you have fared week on week, month on month. And I find that really helpful to control my spending and analyze it, and also understand where I'm spending most and try to curb it a little. While we're on spending habits, we talk about other habits. So I am very, very particular about my morning and my night routine, and I try my best not to miss them at all. And for this, one thing that has helped me a lot is Loop habit tracker. So every day you can basically just fill in that you have completed your habit, and you can see the loop closing. And then as you keep doing your routines every single day, you can see that every day the circles keep getting colored and you don't want to break the chain. So that is like the biggest motivation. I don't know if you heard this Jerry Seinfeld story where he just wanted to write a joke every day and put a cross on the calendar on the date that he did write a joke. So the days that he couldn't, he felt very bad about breaking the chain. So it's all just like, don't break the chain, do the same thing every single day, because that itself gives you extra motivation to continue doing your habits, because you just don't want to break that symmetry, that chain that is forming just because you are sticking to your word. And I like that motivation a lot. And the paper habit trackers have not worked for me so far. I kind of follow the weekly habit trackers which I have sometimes in my planners, but my personal planner is the Odd Giraffe one. That has a monthly habit tracker in the beginning of the month, and those spreads just don't work for me. So I find it easier to track my habit on an app. This was about habit tracking, but if you want help with habit forming, Fabulous is the best app that there is. This is one of those apps which I was talking about in the beginning that I don't use anymore, because this was something that I used years back to set up some of the habits which I still continue to this day. And it has a premium subscription. It is not cheap, but I think you can get some discounts here and there, and for you can have a trial period, you can keep extending the trial period. There is something related to that. You can check it out properly on their website or on the app page on Play Store and App Store. But I have used it. It has helped me a lot. I did pay the fees for a couple of months. I did obviously complete the trial period and everything, and after that I felt like now I can handle handle, doing all of these habits on my own. I can keep myself accountable. So that's why I stopped using the app, and it didn't make sense for me to keep paying that premium or continue to pay that premium. But if you're trying to build a habit, it's a very, very good way. They give you letters, and it's a very nice and personalized way. And the app has upgraded a lot since the last time that I was using it regularly. And they have like these curated journeys for you. So any kind of like paths that you want to take in life, they kind of have these proper like guided paths for you. So they will tell you if you want to increase focus or sleep better, and there are like some 8-9 paths that you can take, and for each of them they will help you build up small habits and remind you to do those habits. They also have this whole loop system where you check in whenever you've done a habit. They have exercises within the app. So if you just want everything in one place, this is a great app. So if you have never checked it out, I strongly recommend that you at least do it for the trial period and see how you like it. Another app in this health and wellness category is Amaha, which was called Inner Hour before, and I really like it from a mental well-being perspective. This was an app which was introduced to me by my workplace, and here you can also talk to licensed therapists if you have any kind of issues that you want to discuss. You can talk to them over chat or call or video call, and you can change them, I think, with a request or something like that. Have a lot of great therapists on the app who can actually help you with your problems. And besides that, so that could be a paid service, but besides that, you also have a lot of resources where you can track your mood, and based on your mood, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, there are a lot of resources. There are some guided meditations, there are some exercises that they suggest that you can do if you're feeling nervous or something like that. So those are free resources, and I really like their guided meditation, and sometimes they have like really soothing music playing. That also really helps. So I have used this app quite a few times, just whenever I felt like I needed to calm down a little bit, I was getting too stressed, and I enjoy their guided meditation more than I have the other apps which are in the market in this space. So yeah, that and I think if there's like a chatbot kind of a thing which is really responsive and it doesn't give weird answers, so I really like that. And it actually gives you like helpful suggestions. So if you say that I'm bored or I'm feeling unmotivated, it actually come up with a list of 10 things that you can do so that you don't feel that way, so that you feel better. So I love that about this app, and if you haven't tried it yet, download it today. How many of you got for dinner with friends, and right when the waiter is bringing you the bill, you are doing some intense math in your head to decide who owes whom how much, how are you going to pay for this, how is this bill going to be split 6 ways, etc. Because that was one problem that was solved majorly by Splitwise. Splitwise is the easiest. You don't have to keep reminding people to pay you back. You just add it on there that you have paid for XYZ thing, and your friend owes you this much amount, and that's it. You put it on there, and whenever your friend opens the app, they will be able to see how much they owe you, and they can pay you back. You can settle payments within the app itself. I think it's linked with Paytm, so you can do that, or you can pay it outside, settle it outside as well, obviously, and just record that you have settled up that payment. And this has been my go-to for any kind of group expenses since 2018. So the interface is quite clean. When you plan a trip, it comes in very, very handy, or when you have flatmates, etc., that also comes in super handy, because you buy groceries, someone buys groceries one day, another person buys groceries one day. You're not going to keep splitting 50 rupees between each other every single day, right? So just a good way to keep track of all of your expenses and who is paying what. And for trips, what I love is that it will show you the total trip expense and your share, and it also simplifies all of the transactions. If 3 people are paying like vastly different amounts, it kind of simplifies and shows that okay, these 2 people need to pay each other, and the third person has already done their share. That was very, very beneficial when I actually planned a trip and had to use this feature. So I love that, and yeah, I just think Splitwise makes my life really easy, and if you haven't tried it yet, you should definitely try it. So the next app is Healthify Me, and I really like how many Indian foods are on the database of this app. So before Healthify Me, everyone used to use this one app called MyFitnessPal, and it is actually more customized for like the West. So we didn't have a great app which would have all of the Indian food. So the kind of sabzis you are having at home, that you couldn't specifically put into MyFitnessPal. But with Healthify Me, they have like quantities and ingredients and all the kinds of like dishes that you would find across India. And India being so diverse, it's actually a very big task to be able to find dishes from all regions on their database, but you are actually able to, so which is a great feat for the team. And I love how they can you can put in your quantities in grams or in like the size of the bowl or pieces and everything, and they give you the exact calorie count of each. And even with the free plan, they kind of give you like a suggestions of what you want to eat. So it's not very tailored to you, but it still gives you a ballpark idea of the kind of food that you should eat. And you start off with setting goals. So if you want to lose weight, you can set goals of I want to lose X kg and at a rate of say 1 or 2 kgs per week, and they will adjust it saying that this much is hard, or moderately difficult would be that if you lose 1.5 kgs every week, and by that token, if your target weight is Y, how many weeks it would take for you to reach that target weight. Not let you shift the marker to like a dangerous position. Say you say I'm going to lose 4 kgs per week, that will drop your calorie intake very, very low, which is obviously not healthy, and they will not let you do that. Like whether you eat or not, obviously they can't monitor that, but they will never let the suggestion go beyond like a normal healthy limit. So I think 1200 would be like the minimum that they have for like an average Indian female, I think. So you have to input your body height, weight, etc., and then they will give you something quite customized, I would say. There are also a lot of exercises on the app, so I think that kind of started right during the pandemic time. So they have all these options. They also have blogs, and they have like community support groups and stuff, so that was great. They also give you like activity suggestions, so you have to burn X number of calories every day, and all of these are kind of like to do things. So when you do all of them you can check them off, collect points, and the points lead to like a leaderboard. So if you are actually achieving all of your goals, you're also moving up on the leaderboard. And I like this gamified process of things, so that is quite nice. And I have a few friends who've tried the premium packages as well, and even their nutritionists and the fitness coaches are very helpful. So like I have only used the basic version, and I have found a lot of use, and I don't use it anymore because now I kind of eat the same kind of things, and I know how much calories roughly each of them have, and so I don't use that app anymore. But I really like the information that I was able to take from it, and all the features basically of the app. So if you're getting started on like a healthy eating journey and you want to actually see the nutritious value of everything that you eat, I think Healthify Me is a great app. Next, there are two apps which revolve around walking. So first is Google Fit, which is obviously very common, records all of your activities, but I have never for one day also tried to record an activity, workout activity on Google Fit. I only use it to see how many steps I walk, but that becomes an issue because I don't always walk with my phone on me, and I had this Fitbit from I think 2 years back, and I wear this very religiously. So my actual like steps tracking and everything happens on Fitbit, and my workout calorie tracking etc. also happens on the Fitbit app. But Google Fit is great for the heart points tracking, which I really like. So when your heart rate goes up above a certain beats per minute, it is recorded as a heart point, and it tells you that for to be healthy you need these many heart points, and it has those rings, and I really like closing the rings. So when I go out, I always keep my phone in my pocket, right? So whenever I'm walking, the steps are getting recorded, and I like the interface of Google Fit more than I like Fitbit, but I kind of use these two in tandem. And the next app is also related to walking, which is called Step Set Go, and this was something which I used heavily, which actually all of my friends also used heavily when we were back in college when I was doing my MBA, and my college was on a hilltop, and we used to walk a lot, like 15,000-20,000 steps every day was quite common for us. And Step Set Go is an app which gives you coins for a particular number of steps. So if you say walk like 5,000 steps a day, you'll probably get 5 coins. I'm not sure what the conversion is, but with those coins they have a store inside the app where you can buy actual things. So I have friends who've bought headphones and t-shirts with that money. I have bought Audible subscription with the money that I earned while walking. So it is literally paying you to walk. So I found that really cool, and I loved the actual you can actually buy useful things with the money. And I believe you can also start challenges, so that's also a lot of fun when you have friends also on the app, right? You can challenge them to say, you can invite them into a challenge, and then whoever walks the more steps, I think in the 24-hour period or something, they will they get a certain number of coins, and again the coins can be used to purchase. So I found that very interesting, and I haven't been using it for a while because I actually got in the habit of doing my 10k steps around the house during the pandemic, and then I don't keep my phone on me. So you have to have your phone in your pocket at all times when you are walking for the steps to be recorded. So that was a issue for me. I do my walking without my phone most of the time. nothing, so I wasn't really earning the points, so I kind of stopped using the app. But if you are somebody who walks around a lot with the phone in their pocket, then please get this app and you can get a lot of free stuff. So that was it, guys. Those were my favorite apps of all time, and I really like using them, or loved using them for the time period that I did. I hope this was helpful for you, and let me know in the comments if there are any apps that you are going to download now after listening to this, or some app which you have been using for a long time and you love. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week. Bye.